We start the show this evening with a story from the swinging 60s. Back then, the Beatles were on the radio, Harold Wilson was in number 10, and your nana was in a miniskirt, fucking anything in trousers. Woo! After sinking 4 glasses of Prosecco, a bottle of champagne, and a shot of Zambuca, here's a delightfully drunk Joe Lycett to tell us about the Kray twins.
God, that's dog shit. Hello, I'm going to tell you a story about how one man brought down 2 of arguably the worst criminals in English history, the Kray twins. Are you sitting comfortably? Well, then I'll begin. It's 1964, it's the swinging 60s. It's a new era of, hey, I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna do some gay things. What? That's not allowed. No, it's the 60s. I'm gonna wank off an old man, why not? And so underneath all of that, 2 people are making the most of it. They're called the Kray twins. Ronnie and Reggie, their names are, brilliant names. They are a couple of mobsters, couple of right old geezers, couple of silly twats, you might call them. So the Kray twins were renowned for having a wall of silence. Nobody would say anything about the Krays because they're terrified of them. I'm terrified of them now, and they've been dead for ages. Everyone's terrified of them. They would have friends who would just sit like that in bars. So they'd just sort of sit there, and then if they heard anyone say the Krays, they'd sort of go, oh, someone over there said something about the Krays. And then they'd make a note of them, grey hair and a small cat that follows him around, and he's the person to take out. So the Krays go into the pub and they'd see the guy with the little cat and they'd walk up to him and they'd go, you've been saying bad stuff about us. And the guy would be like, no, I haven't. Actually, I haven't. No, I didn't say anything about you guys. I think I love your work. So actually, if you could not hurt me, that would be really helpful. And Reggie would go, I'm not sure I believe you. And then he would just sort of thumb his eyes out. On the other hand, there's a gentleman called Thomas Nipper Reed.
Leonard Nipper Reed.
Leonard Reed Nipper. He's a pretty badass cop. His boss comes to him and says, could we use your skills to go and get the Kray twins, who are a right couple of nincompoops. They're really causing some bother. So Nipper Reed, every time Nipper says something to anybody, wall of silence. People just not giving him anything. Like, he went up to Catman after he'd had his eyes taken out, so he's got no eyes. And he's like, what do you think of the Krays? And because this guy's been really attacked by them, he's going, fine, great guys. Bye-bye. That's all you'd get from everyone. Nipper was like, buddy, I just wish someone would say, they killed my wife, but nobody would say that. So Nipper sort of thinks, oh, well, no one's going to tell me anything, so I'm going to go and just sort of try and have a little look, do a bit of espionage, see if I can maybe look through a window. And Ronnie goes, are you Nipper? And he goes, no. And he goes, I know you're hanging out, do you want to come on in, have a drink? And Nipper goes, do you know what, actually, yeah, I am Nipper, I'll come in, why not? Do you do WKDs? And he says, we'll work something out. And so he goes into the party and he has a great time. He's poured a WKD by Ronnie, he meets Reggie. Reggie's like, all right, what's your name, Nipper? Nice to meet you, Nipper, what do you do? And Nipper's like, oh, I'll be careful here. I work nearby a police station just nearby. And the thing is, Reggie's really off his tits, so he doesn't really notice. So Nipper has a great time, lots of lols. Station, and he says, right lads, have yourself a nice espresso because you're not going to bed until we arrest all 20